Hey everyone, I'm back down at the river in Denpasar again and I've just come across an absolutely stunning temple.
The river splits into and goes around either side of this temple, and this is an island temple right in the middle of Denpasar. And there's a bridge up here which allows people to access the temple. I thought that was pretty cool. This pathway down here, I've got no idea where it leads to, but there are no locals down here, so I'm assuming it's probably not to the best place. Oh, there's a guy fishing down here. That makes sense. Oh, what's a bit of a liver on the ground? I don't know, some sort of butchering must have been happening back there. I don't know what that was from. A weird little area, actually. It's sort of gone past those two markets, Pasar Badung and Pasar Kumbasari. Well, that's a weird little pipe. Yeah, sort of like really far down here now. Oh, there's a ladder. That person's on a ladder painting that wall. That's weird. And then there's a big temple over there. And there's a ladder up here as well. I wonder where that goes. I can see the path just finishes up here. On the other side of the river, it looks like once upon a time, maybe that was being used. But it looks a little bit wrecked now. Oh, weird. So weird, what a weird part of town. You can see the buildings here. They've, in order to get a little bit more sort of room in their houses, they've put them on sort of, on these little pylons, on these little stilts. And I can see that some of those little concrete cross beams, reinforced concrete there, some of that on the ones down there is actually crumbling. And I would imagine, though I'm not an engineer, but I'm sure the person who built that building is also not an engineer. And my guess would be that's pretty dangerous and that at some point that'll collapse. But as of now, it looks pretty okay. But that's another sort of pretty common thing as well here in Indonesia, is that along the riverside, you'll get people building right up to the edge, and then after a while, people start then extending out over the river so they get a little bit extra space in their house for free. And that's what they've done there. I mean, I could, that place there in particular, that just there, I couldn't live there. That for me looks so dangerous, and that concrete has crumbled. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. But having said that, that building might have been there for 20, 30 years and had no problem. So who am I to say? That type of construction reminds me of when I was back in Bandung and we had a little, well, on top of our roof, there was a flat area where we could go and hang our washing and store just random stuff we didn't need anymore. And we had a canopy on top of it, almost like a flat roof with some plastic roofing on it, made out of wood. And over time, the wood had perished. It probably got some white ants in there or something like that, and it needed to be replaced. Well, so I got the tukang involved in it, and he said, oh no, he'll fix it. He reckons it didn't need to be replaced because most of the wood was okay. So what he started doing is, rather than pulling off all the old wood, he was just getting pieces of wood and attaching it to the good bits of wood. And over the years, he did that one by one by one by one. And it started getting really, really heavy with all these different supporting cross beams and diagonals and everything that he'd put up. And in the end, it was just structurally unsound. And I mean, we sold the place before it collapsed, but I know when it got a bit of a strong wind up, it started lifting the whole structure. And I had him tie it all down with a rope against some of the house. And that's sort of what that reminds me of, is that some guy that doesn't really know what he's doing, sort of got a feel for things, has just gone and built it and hasn't really even probably got any of the approvals from the government and that sort of stuff. And there are rules in place for this sort of stuff. You're supposed to have your plans approved, but of course, it's not always the case that people get that done. And that's why some of these things tend to happen. Another interesting point is that there are building codes in Indonesia, and specifically in Bali, there are very strict building codes about what you can and can't do, how close you're allowed to build towards the boundary fence, that sort of thing. Like, you're not supposed to go and butt your house up against the boundary wall. You're supposed to have a gap, but no, like a lot of people don't do it. But if you get caught, you'll be asked to pull that place down. Same as road rules. There are plenty of road rules here in Indonesia, which are quite sensible road rules. And you think sometimes when you see the traffic, you think, well, they can't be because people are just getting away with doing anything they want. Well, the rules are there, but they're not always enforced. And over time, people sort of, oh, wow, besar sekali.
Besar.
Wow. Biasanya, oh ya, satu. Biasanya sebesar itu atau itu yang paling gede? Wow. Yang baru ditangkap itu baru?
Ya, baru sini.
Wow. Luar biasa. Luar biasa. Nanti makannya?
Ya.
Enak?
Digoreng enak kok.
Oh, digoreng. Ikan goreng. Oh, bagus sekali. Aku baru tahu ada ikan kayak gini.
Oh, banyak.
Oh, banyak. Semua semacam itu.
Ada ikan sapu-sapu.
Ikan sapu-sapu juga ada.
Ada.
Wow. Wow, menarik. Ya, kasih ya. Tinggal di sini juga.
Enggak. Di Monamani.
Jauh dari sini.
Jauh. Lumayan.
Asli dari sini atau dari mana?
Asam.
Karangasem. Ya. Oke ya, mari ya. Ya. Yeah, just going on about those road rules again. There are plenty of road rules, and what I've found happens is that even though you might learn the road rules, is that once people sort of get used to a certain way of driving, the road rules sort of go out the window and people just do it by feel, and that's sort of what happens here in Indonesia a lot. Occasionally the police will crack down on things like people not stopping properly at the traffic lights or going through red lights, but that's about it. Pak, boleh nyebrang di sini? Aman? Ya, makasih. All right, we've got this dodgy bridge. Wow, it is dodgy too. And we're across. Love it. Love having a bit of a walk around, a bit of an explore, a bit of a chat to people, see what's going on. I actually love these places that are a little bit sort of, I don't know, places that you wouldn't normally go. I just like going down those back alleys and to places like the market is the main game here, both these markets. But I mean, I've been to the markets before many years ago, and I know that they're not good unless you're there going there for a specific purpose, in my view. So for me, I really love going down the places that you think, oh, that looks ugly, I don't want to go there. That's the place that I want to go. I love it. We've got these people unloading trucks like this, manual style. Look at that. That's hard work, isn't it? Look at that. I don't know how heavy each one of those is. Cigarettes. Oh, 10,000 sticks of cigarette in each one. And they're carrying two of them. Wow. That's hard. Lagi bikin apa, Bu?
Tipat.
Tipat. Oh, ketupat. Tipat. Oh. Nanti masak di mana?
Gak pakai sembayangan. Pakai sembayangan.
Diisiin beras, direbus, pakai
Ya.
sembayang.
Ya. Oh.
Dari mana?
Aku asli dari Australia.
Kok tinggal sekali bahasa Indonesia?
Nah, Ibu dari mana?
Dari Bali.
Pasar.
Denpasar. Ya. Jadi biasanya bikin berapa bungkus yang 50?
Bisa 100 bisa juga.
Bukan untuk dijual.
Nah, nanti dijual pakai sembayangan.
Ya. Tapi makan tipatnya atau enggak? Nanti. Cuman untuk sembayang enggak dimakan sama sekali. Mungkin dimakan kucing atau burung atau apa ya. Oh.
Kan kecil-kecil tipatnya kalau pakai
Ya.
ya.
Jadi reporter ya?
Kenapa?
Jadi reporter ya?
Oh, bukan. Cuman mau bikin vlog. Itu bikin konten, bikin konten biasanya kayak gitu. Dan aku lumayan tertarik dengan budaya Indonesia, ketupat, tipat, makanan Indonesia, masakan Indonesia. Aku sangat suka.
Indonesia doang.
Belajar di
Nggak,
mana?
tidak terlalu lancar. Aku belajar di Bandung, di Jawa Barat.
Istrinya dari Jawa Barat.
Betul, dia lagi duduk di mana? Tadi dia di sana ya. Tapi ya sekarang tinggal di Bali, di Sanur. Ya, jadi aku mau keliling di sini. Oke, ya, makasih ya. Oke. Yeah. That's me done for today here in the center of Denpasar. Thanks for coming along with me today and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. Sampai ketemu lagi.